while we're doing the live stream, there's a white screen around me. What'll happen is when I edit the video and put the edited version up, next Friday, it will have basically all the notes on the white part. So that's why it looks so blank, in case you're wondering. And if there's ever any problem with this stream itself, let me know. And actually, let me know as soon as possible so we can fix that. Okay, glad to see everybody's doing good. So if anybody else feels like saying hello, feel free to do so. If not, totally cool with me. Usually what'll happen is if it's your first time here, I will teach for, I don't know, like 10, 20, maybe even 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to get through the topic. Some take me faster than I expect, and then some take a little bit longer. And then I'll take questions. I may take questions in between, but if I'm not answering your questions right away, do not worry. I like to go back through them later on in the live stream. And by the way, Rich is back again, of course. Hello, Rich. Glad to have you with us. And by the way, like I was going to say, tonight's live stream is brought to you by the supporters on Patreon. So patreon.com/lessons on the web. If you feel like contributing or learning more, head over there once the live stream is over. Okay, so we will get on with today's lesson. Let me just kind of think about what I'm going to say. It's always good to think about what you're going to say before you say it sometimes. Okay, here we go. Hello, students, and welcome back to the classroom. Tim here again from Lessons on the Web. And today we are doing two-handed piano playing. And more specifically, I'm going to give you some tips on two-handed piano playing, as well as some examples and some exercises that you really need to take advantage of to develop your two-handed piano playing, to really get over, that struggles that a lot of us have when first putting hands together, and especially playing different rhythms and different notes while hands together. So if you struggle with this lesson's for you. So we'll get right on to it. First, we're going to start with some general tips I have about playing with both hands. The very first one I have is learn the piece, example, scale, arpeggio, whatever you're trying to learn it hands separate first if you are a beginner. And then once you kind of feel like you have it down, hands separate, then put it hands together. Now this will help you at first because it will just give you less things to have to really concentrate on, think about. Because if you really know what you're playing with both hands individually, it'll just be a little bit easier to connect it when you put hands together. It may sound simple, may sound straightforward, but it's always a good tip for beginners. Now as you get more advanced, you may want to start playing two-handed right off the bat, but by then you should be a bit more comfortable playing with both hands. Okay, general tip number 2 is play slowly. This is probably the most important tip because probably most of my students make this mistake, including myself at times. You want to slow down your playing when you're playing something that you find difficult. So whether it's playing with both hands, playing a difficult section, playing a piece that's a little bit above your level, you need to play slowly. Probably the most important thing. You don't want to rush through the music. You want to have patience, and you want to have a level of what we call musical maturity, which is really not rushing through things, not trying to get to the goal too soon, really approaching this logically and patiently and consistently, most importantly. Okay, number 3 is when first learning to play hands together, avoid examples with complicated rhythms, or just examples that are too complicated in general, whether it's pitches, rhythms, or anything about it. If it's something that's way over your head, you're just not going to be able to play it hands together. You want to play something probably a bit on the easy side when you first start to learn how to play with both hands together. I feel like I'm saying that a lot in this lesson, but it's to be expected. Not new mic, Rich. Actually, this mic is the not old mic. It's actually a pretty nice mic. But instead of having it far away from me and picking up and turning up the gain on my little audio device, which picks up more of the background sound, I have it a bit closer to me. I think it'll work out a lot better, especially as the heater kicks on or any fans may kick on with the computer or anything like that. It should help a bit with the background noise. Not probably 100%, but it should probably really help with that. Okay, so on with the lesson here of the things. Okay, on with the resources that I suggest you practice from, or the things I suggest you practice. Number one, and you're going to sigh and maybe think this is boring, but scales. So learning your scales is important, but playing your scales, especially syncing up both hands, is very important in developing your dexterity and your ability to play with both hands up and down the keyboard. And it's really good for finger crosses and things like that. But like with everything else, like I said, is you want to learn them hands separate first. You want to learn them one scale at a time. And then once you feel like you can play the scale, both hands separately pretty well, then you want to put it hands together. And remember, the most important point is what? You want to go slowly so you can play them together. If you are all over the place, you need to slow it way, way down. Okay, now I have a special little exercise I made up. I'm probably not the first person to make this up, but I really think it would help those of us who right now are thinking about the scales and be like, oh, well, Tim, I already know how to play the scales very well. I can play, the same note at the same time. I don't struggle as much with that. It's playing different rhythms between the hands that I struggle with. If you're one of those people that says that to yourself, then here's a little exercise to make the scales a little bit more challenging and to develop the interdependence between both hands. So the one thing I want to suggest is start with the key of C. Make it easy, right? You don't have to worry about the sharps or the flats. So what you want to do is you want to play the scale in whole notes with your left hand and half notes with your right hand. What does that mean, really? Well, that means for every left hand note, I'm playing 2 right hand notes. And of course, it'll be a little slower. And then when I'm moving to the second left hand note, I'm going to play the next 2 right hand notes. Now, when you get to the top of the scale here, you come back down. Oops. Oh, yeah. Let me start again. Sorry about that. And then when you get to the top, you turn it back around. And then when you get here, you're still going to go all the way up to the left hand, top of the left hand scale, while still coming down and then meeting in the center. And if you time it out right, you'll wind up in the center. If you're off a little bit, your notes won't be exactly right. And then what you want to do is then speed it up a little bit. Maybe you could do half notes in the left hand and quarter notes in the right hand. Once you're feeling a little bit more confident with it, just like that. So that will get you playing different rhythms with each hand. Now, what I want you to do, and I highly suggest, is flip it around the other way. Play the longer notes with your right hand while playing 2 notes with your left hand. And like I said, at first you want to start with whole notes in your right hand and then half notes in your left hand. And it will seem a bit slow at first. And then if you do it right, you'll land on C at the exact same time. Now, what if that starts to get too easy? Well, you can always speed it up, right? You can start to play, eighth notes maybe with your right hand and quarter notes with your left hand, so it'll be twice as fast. Oops, let me do it again. Not bad. And then see as fast as you can get it. Maybe you're going to do 16th notes, which is 4 of these for every note I have in the left hand if I'm playing quarter notes. time a little bit. Try it again. I did it right that time, and I know it because I landed on middle C at the exact same time. And then you want to go through this, and you want to do this with a lot of your scales, as many of them as you can do. You know, that was the quicker notes in the left hand, slower notes in the right hand. And I know I had it right because I hit G at the same time. Now, if you're doing it the opposite way, in the right hand, you'll hit G together at the same time, or whatever scale you're on. So if you're doing D, you know, it'll be like that. Okay. Any kind of musical smoothness in it. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments a little bit so far. So we will continue, and I'll address those in a minute. Okay, so I suggest you practice that little tip or that little exercise and do it in as many of the scales as you can. If you have a lot of trouble doing that, remember, the key thing is to slow it down. Start out, like I said, with just whole notes in the left hand, half notes in the right hand, counting slowly. You know, and so forth. And then remember, you know you're hitting the right note, or you got it right if you end on either the outside notes of the key that you're in. So if you're in the key of C, you'll land on C. If you're doing it the other way, you will land on the middle note together. So just know that you'll be hitting the same note at the same time if you have it right and you have it synced up correctly. Okay, so I'm going to address a couple of the questions here. So let's see. Meant to say I'm not a teacher, but I get kind of musical smoothness in it before I bump it up a bit. Yeah, that's exactly right. So you want to make sure that you feel comfortable playing it. And yes, to do that, you want to achieve a musical smoothness for sure. And then let's see, in it before I bump it up a bit, but that's just my perspective and no lessons at all. I think that's a great perspective. Makes a lot of sense to me. And then Minty says, I see. And so my question would be, when to speed up or slow down. So like I said, when you achieve that smoothness, that means you can bump up the speed a little bit. You want to bump up the speed gradually each time you play it. You don't want to, you know, play them real slow, and then next time play them, and then they're all way out of whack. You want to, you know, play it maybe this speed the first time, and then play it maybe this speed. It's only slightly faster. It's not way faster, and I played that smoothly up and down, so then I know that I can speed it up a little bit more without too much trouble. Okay, when you can play accurately, I suppose, yep, that is right, and at a good speed. What is the method of playing triplets on one hand and 16th notes on the other hand? Oh man, Rich, you are killing me. But I could do triplets to quarter notes. Oh man, really triplets to 16ths? That one's a hard one because I remember asking my teacher in college about this, and he goes, you get it right by just practicing a lot. And I hated that explanation, but I kept at it and I was able to do it. I don't know. I'd have to kind of practice it some. It's been a while. It's a good question, though. I'd have to think that out ahead of time to really be able to explain it really well, because I want to give you a better explanation than my teacher gave me. But to do triplets, that's an excellent point, Rich. So when you're doing the scale exercise I gave you, you can also do triplets in your right hand while doing quarter notes in your left hand. So 3 notes per every 1 note. Whoops. because I hit C's at the same time. But no, great question. I just want to make sure I have the appropriate answer for you before I just start rambling on about that. Okay. Now let's see where we are here. Oh, we're going to talk about Hanen exercises, which we do quite frequently on this program, this live stream that we have. So if you don't know about Hanen exercises, that's my website, by the way, but we are going to Hanen exercises. You just type it into Google and you hit enter. And like the first one, Hanen Piano Online. Now this is a great resource for two-handed piano playing examples. However, you may be seeing these, you can download them obviously. You may be looking at this and saying, well, these are the same note at the same time, kind of like the scales. But that's fine. That will still develop your two-handed piano playing, being able to sync them up. And every exercise develops a certain part of your hand. So the better you are at this kind of stuff, the better you will be at two-handed piano playing, because playing the same note at the same time in sync is still a coordination skill to have. So you want to practice these. So you can practice these. There's tons of them for free. Our live stream attendee, Rich, always talks about a book he has on hand. So there are many great books out there. It's probably maybe even a little bit better if you have the book than this. I know the options on this website are limited a little bit, but it's actually a really good free resource. And then there's many exercises, as you can see. You can see, that there are 20, and then you can obviously continue there. And then you can also look at play them in different keys. So you can play them in the key of G and the key of D. They have them written here somewhere. I think when you click on the exercise and then you scroll down, it'll say, different keys. So I could get it in like the key of D flat. Should be a little bit hard, but hey, it might be a really good practice. So practice these and practice them often. Learn maybe one at a time, one a week, for as many weeks as it takes. So if there's 40 of them, I think there's 30, but there might be more than that actually. But so if there's 40 of them, it'll take you 40 weeks to play through all of them. And then again, you only want to move on really to the next one once you feel comfortable playing the one before. So if it takes you longer than a week, don't fret over that, but make some kind of goal, whether to learn one a week, one every 2 weeks, and then every once in a while, if you go outside of the goal a little bit, so long as you come back, you will be in really good shape. Okay, so now probably for one of the more important parts of the lesson, another great resource we have for us here. Let me type this in again, because I had this on my computer upstairs. Hold on. So if you go to pianoexercises.org/exercises/Czerny, by the way, CZERNY, he has a ton on this website. Actually, this actually isn't his website, but he wrote all these exercises. This is a wonderful selection of exercises. Particularly, it's either the first selection or the second selection is what I really recommend for this lesson. Again, you want to look through these and find something that's appropriate to your playing level. This is it. Okay, you see these now. Be careful that these are both in treble clef, so you need to be used to doing that. Whoops. And they're just like little tunes, little exercises to develop your two-handed coordination. They have very simple rhythms between either of the hands, so that makes it a little bit easier. Now, that doesn't mean they'll be absolutely easy. It might take you quite a few playthroughs to get these right. And you want to, of course, what is the tip of the day, by the way? Play slowly, right? And use the fingering they give you. They're nice enough to give you most of the fingering. And of course, it's always hard to play and talk at the same time. But go through these. You want to do maybe one a day again, or maybe even one a week, depending on how quickly you learn. And besides the fact that they're both in double treble clef, which you'll get used to, they are very, very handy exercises for developing, your interdependence between both hands. If you are more interested, if you have the scale thing down where you can play both hands in parallel, same notes at the same time is what I mean by that. And you're looking for more of a challenge, but not overwhelming. Like you may try Fur Elise, or you may try a lot of other, classical piano music, and you find it's too difficult to play hands together, or maybe even a lot of songs are too difficult. Work your way up. Go through the things I talked about today. You want to go through your scales. You want to do the little exercise I gave you for those. That will take you quite some time. You want to add in Hanon into your exercise routine, which we've talked about quite often, and Czerny. So through this website, pianoexercises.org/exercises/Czerny. Hold on. Okay, great, great. Um, okay, let me think if there's really anything else I have to say. I don't think so. So everybody in the chat, I'm not leaving yet, so stick around. We're going to do Q&A. I might explain some things, depending on what the questions are. So that's really it for the two-handed playing today. If you have anything you'd like to add, whether you're watching the recording of this or you're attending tonight, just let me know, and I could very well make a follow-up to this lesson, of course. If you're ever interested in learning more about the piano than ever before, over on my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, I have a ton of courses over there for you. And I actually have, coming soon, not exactly right now because I'm still planning it out, there's actually going to be an exclusive live stream for Academy students. And it might even be more than once a week. But I'm going to start with once a week, integrate that into my schedule pretty well. And this will really give an additional chance for you to communicate with me. On the website, we're going to talk about even more advanced topics, even a lot of tips we won't on the YouTube channel at this time. So anyway, I'm going to take some questions now. Let's see. What is the page that you are on? Oh, the page is, you mean for the Czerny exercises? It's pianoexercise.org. Hold on a second. Yeah, it is the first link. Let me give it to everybody here. I'll type it in for all of us. Hold on. Exercises. I think this is it. I should have just found it and then copied it over. Oh no, I got it. So yep, if you follow the live's continuing for a little bit longer, Jason. We're gonna continue for, I don't know, a few minutes longer at least. I'm gonna answer some questions that everybody has. So I'm just kind of chatting with Rich and sending some URL love to everybody there. pianoexercises.org/exercises/Czerny right in there. And that is a great resource. Those exercises are perfect, and you may be saying, well, there's a ton. Oh, let me see here. This new setup is so awkward. I mean, just until I get used to it, because I feel like there's something about to hit my face all the time. So we are... It's 3 hours. Did I accidentally say it was 3 hours? It is not 3 hours long. I am really sorry. The trill. I can show you the trill here in a second, Jason. Oh, 3. Yeah, if I could do a 3-hour live stream and keep my energy up and not collapse, I would do that. Now, what I can do, like I said, is for Academy students, and then the Patreon as well. I'll add that as like a perk there. There's just going to be a little extra like Insiders Club. And of course, I might even make it free for the first week just to kind of get everybody on board, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's coming very soon. Okay, here we go. So Jason says, can I explain the trill? And the answer is yes. I've explained it a few times on the stream, but I've never made a trill video, I don't think. And it gets lost in the recordings. So one of these days I'll just make an episode or a lesson just on trills. So here's how a trill works. Just using a very simple example. No, actually I'm going to do a whole note. And trill is this one. Let's see. There we go. So we have a whole note E. And if you notice, it has the E, and then it says TR, the squiggle, and then they actually have a note written above that. A lot of times trills don't have that note. They just have the primary note right. They just have the primary note right there. They don't have that secondary note there. But basically what that's telling you is you're starting from that note above it, and you're alternating between that note and the note that's written, and you do it quickly. Now, find the fingering that works for you. I like 3 and 2. 1 and 3 also works pretty well. You can actually get kind of a harder trill out of 1 and 3. I feel like I'm a little bit more controlled with 3 and 2, though. So you just alternate between, and if you don't have that other note written, it's automatically assumed it's the next scale note up. So what do I mean by that? Well, say you are in the key of G, and not just say it, we are going to be in the key of G. We got to believe we're in the key of G. And now say, oh really, they have a half step. There it is. Okay, it was being strange there for a minute. Okay, so see here how we're in the key of G now, 1 sharp, and it has the G there, and then it has the secondary note A. But if that A wasn't there, you would just assume that it's the next scale note up above G. And you alternate quickly between that. And it's for however many beats that the primary note is. So if the primary note right here is a G, or I mean is a whole note, you're going to do it for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a half note, you're only going to go 1, 2, and then whatever note comes after that. So that's generally how trills work. I recommend you use the sustain pedal, hit the sustain pedal when you're doing the trill. And I like to kind of start the trill out a little bit slower, speed it up, and then kind of trail it off. Kind of like that, but it depends. Like it depends on the type of music. So if you're doing like Mozart's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, he had a pretty specific way of doing trills that you want to be on the listen out or be listening for. Okay, let's see here. It's always the next scale degree or the next logical key. It's the next scale degree. So say it's on an F sharp. Whoops, tap that. Go away. Stop that. No. Oh, I see how that works. Okay, so it looks like you can either change them to the next scale note, or if you want to be fancy and sharp it, you can do that as well. But like I said, most of the time it's just the next scale degree. So if it's the 7th, the leading tone, you're going to go to the next note above that, which is what we call the tonic, or the note of the key that you're on. So that's how that works. But Mozart Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I can't understand the trill. It's so hard. Yeah, that one is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Yeah, so if you kind of just play around with trills, they really take a lot of time to get them, especially to play them in time with other music going on, like other things in your other hands. That can be difficult. What I recommend for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or any song is learn the song without the what we call ornamentations first. So that's without the trills or like the mordents or anything like that. And then add them in, because once you know how the song's supposed to sound with an even tempo, then you'll really know like where the notes are supposed to hit around the ornamentation, so you're playing it in key, so, or not in key but in time. But if you're really good or you are an intermediate piano player, try to add in as many of the ornaments as you can. Jezebel has just arrived at the lesson. Welcome back once again. Great to have you with us. Thanks everybody for coming out. We are going to continue for a few more minutes, but that's all of the material I had for today. But of course, I'm taking questions right now, so if anybody has any questions, we'll go over those. And then, of course, you can expect the recording of this lesson fairly soon, either like later tonight or early tomorrow. So let's see, any other questions for tonight? I'll take almost any questions, so long as it's music related and not impossible to answer. Some things like I told Rich, I like to kind of look up ahead of time just to make sure I'm giving you the right explanation. Is a trill long or short? Well, it all depends on the note that the trill's on, right? So say you have this. Say it's now a, whoops, sorry about that. Say it's a quarter note E, right? And you have trill over it. Well, anyway, what is going on here? Oh, okay. There we go. So anyway, say you have this E here, and it just says for one beat. Let's see. So see now how the trill line's really short? It only takes up one beat. So that means when that quarter note is up, you have to get off the trill. So playing it without the quarter note, or without the trill rather, it would sound like this. But now it's going to be, whoops. So the trill's really short. It's no longer, it's really, really short. Oh, you're not getting picture. Hey, as usual, appreciate you. Thank you for saying appreciate you. I like that. But if you see me duck out, it's because I'm not getting picture. Oh, really? Well, if there's any trouble with the picture, let me know. Sometimes it can be a little bit odd. I had a question I posted before, if I may, and it's if you had any tips for volume control in the right hand, P in the left. Okay, F in the right, P in the left. For example, any exercises or ideas on how to practice that? I have a recent video. What is it called? Let me link to you to a video really quick. So everybody just hold on. I'm not quitting the stream. I just want to grab a link really quick. Okay, I almost got it, so hold on just a second, everybody. So if you head over here, this is actually a lesson I came out recently, how to play piano more expressively with this practice exercise, and it's exactly what you're asking about, Kiwi. Okay, Rich says I have a suggestion, Kiwi, play a C major scale slowly, one hand loud and one hand soft. Yeah, so if you follow the directions on this lesson that I put out fairly recently, it will give you a lot of tips on how to do that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Move that a little bit out that way. Okay, so any other questions? Ooh, I have to move. Hold on. Oh, you're welcome, Kiwi. You're welcome. All right, everybody. So let's see. I'm going to take maybe like 2 more questions, and then we'll maybe give like some announcements on what's going on, if there really are any, maybe just like what's happening with the website and stuff. So feel free to give any questions you have, here, and I'll be happy to answer them. Let me just show you what's happening with our community page. Oops. That's not what I meant to type in at all. So if you go to pianolessonsontheweb.com, I'm not sure why it only does this in this browser, but whenever I do that, it wants to search it. That's not it. There it is. Okay. So if you head over to pianolessonsontheweb.com and you go to our community page, it's a free page for all of us, and you look at our live stream schedule. We are off on the 6th, so no live stream on our usual Sunday, and we will be picking up with Friday how to play songs on piano with chords. Now, what does this mean? I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still developing the lesson, but essentially what the lesson is going to be about are basically how if you know the chords to a song, then you can play along with that song so long as you know the layout of the rhythm, things like that, and basically what chords you need to know to be able to do this. And then maybe we'll find some examples of songs with just chords and playing the melody along with them and seeing how that goes, giving you some tips about that. The 13th is lesson ideas, a lesson idea session. We're off that next week, so very important that you know that so you don't show up for Friday. But the next Friday, we're good. So next Friday, we're good. 2 Fridays from now, we're off, just to let you know about that. And then we're having a lesson about, the absolute basics. And then, oh man, we are getting into December almost with holiday-themed video ideas for our Sunday live stream. And then other than that, I've been tinkering around with the website, fixing some issues. There are some I still need to fix. Hopefully I will get all that sorted out this week. Whenever you move over a website, things break, and then over time, you don't notice things, and then other people do, and they're like, oh, hey, this is broken. And it's like, oh, man, I thought I even checked over that, but, there's always a little bit of things to clean up. But I'm cleaning that up. I am making a chord trainer course. Basically what this is going to be like a way to practice your chords so that you get really good at them within maybe 30 days or something like that, whatever the goal of that will be. So it'll be like a little ebook. It'll be included in the online academy, of course, but I will probably share a little bit of it with you during the live stream here. Okay, let's see. My keyboard stand was too weak and collapsed. My keyboard weighs about 100 pounds. Oh no, man. And Friendly Person is back. How are you doing? Okay, let's see. Rich asked a question. Kiwi system. Thank you for saying that. Must sign up for Academy. And Rich, by the way, said earlier that over there I had a sight reading thing posted there that was pretty useful. So let's see. Rich says, I missed his question. Tim, can you play E flat dominant arpeggio? Yes. Let's try that. Okay, wait. It's 2 notes and the 2 notes connect and has a trill. How to do it. I'm not sure. If you send me a screenshot, like through Facebook, I can tell you exactly how to do that. All right, let's see. Rich says... And then actually, Jason, I think I saw you asked me on Facebook already. I will get back to you on that. I just remembered, like today I was looking through my Facebook messages and I saw that. You already did that, and I know that. So I'm going to get to that message as soon as I can tomorrow. Sorry about that. I'm not as good at checking the Facebook. But yeah, send it again. If you didn't send me the exact thing you're talking about, send it again and I'll gladly take a look at that for you. Sorry about that. Okay, would have broken my foot. Oh no. Okay, so Rich says, sorry about that, Rich, that I keep jumping around your question. E flat dominant arpeggio. Okay, here we go. Let me take a look at this for you, Rich. Let me see. I need to think about how to do this. Hold on. Okay, I think I have it figured out. Right hand, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Left hand is 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. And then if you want to keep going up, you can, but you can go back down with 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. I think that's it. Oh, friendly person. Care about is the keyboard. My broken bones will heal. Oh no, I'm really sorry to hear about this. This is pretty awful news, both about your keyboard and your bones. So I hope that you will heal quickly and that you will recover your piano somehow, or get another one. But my keyboard cost $364. Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Nicely done, Tim. Looks like some sort of magic to me. Yeah. Thank you, Kiwi. All right, everybody. I actually think I'm going to wrap it up. I think that's a good point to end it for today. We'll save some of the questions. Yeah, Jason, send a photo. I will get to it probably tomorrow morning because it's getting a little bit late to me. I might get it to it tonight, but I try to make a rule. Like, if you ever contact me at night, I try to make a rule not to work after a certain hour because then I have trouble sleeping. But I may get to it tonight, but I will definitely get to it tomorrow. And if you ever see me doing this, looking at the ground, it's always because my cable is stuck. Big toes. Oh man, sorry to hear that about that friendly person. But yeah, Jason, send him over, and then yeah, you're very welcome, Rich. Of course, of course. So thanks everybody for coming out tonight. If you want to find out how you can make these lessons even better, you can head over to patreon.com/lessons on the web, or another great way to help, grow the channel or help these lessons, help me, and most importantly, help yourself learn even more about piano is to head over to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, and check it out. You can't lose. And by the way, over there's a ton of courses and everything I designed to help you learn. But I'm signing out for today, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Great to hang out with everybody. You're always welcome back, and I'll see you next Friday. Remember that we're off on Sunday, but we will be back Friday for our How to Play Songs with Chords lesson together. So it's been great helping you learn. Thank you for, both, being here to listen to me explain these things, as well as provide me with some, some, I don't know, like some entertainment and enriching. So thank you for enriching the lesson today. Yeah, you're welcome, Jason. You're welcome, Kiwi. You're welcome, everybody, of course. I'll see you next Friday. Thank you so much. Kiwi's too nice to me. But yeah, it's always great having you with us. Remember, The mission of lessons on the web is to help basically make as many piano students as possible. And you just being here really means the world to me in helping achieve that goal. So thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you in the next lesson. Have a great week.